Hello everyone, and welcome to my first commentary YouTube video about my journey of drawing with zero experience to drawing for a full year. I'm going to go through each day discussing the journey, everything I've learned, and share with you all in hopes of giving insight, inspiring others to start their own art journey, or to those who've already started to hopefully put some more fuel in the tank. Apologies for the low quality, but we keep going. Without further ado, grab a drink, enjoy the music. We'll put on some new Jabez, maybe some other artists. All links mentioned will be in the description. Let's do this. So, I've been meaning to make this video for like 8 months. It's taken me so long, and I just want to get this video out there. So, once again, apologies. It's gonna be a bit messy this video. It's gonna be a bit rushed, but anyway. So, these drawings are all in April 2024, the beginning of the journey where I tried to draw every single day for an entire year. This is because I've recently, at the time, dropped out of my TAFE course and I missed the course intake for my university class by about a week. So I had to wait about 5 months to get into uni, and with this much time spare, I thought it was the perfect time to begin my art journey. And these first around 60-70 days were pretty rough, but very important. I spent most of my time experimenting with different brushes I found on the internet, following YouTube tutorials, messing around with Photoshop settings, and my drawing tablet, which is the Hoyon Canvas Pro. I actually don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is what it is. And these early days basically go as follows: find a cool reference on Pinterest, try to replicate it, and then post it on Instagram, documenting all my drawings, which is basically where I'm getting all these drawings for this video. But some of these drawings in the early days, you can see the line work is all over the place. I didn't understand how to make good line art. I just scribbled a bunch of strokes and erased the messiest ones. No understanding of color theory, lighting, and blending. I also didn't use basic construction methods, no boxes, spheres, or flow lines. I would just jump straight into the face, then move on to the body, and as you imagine, led to some weird proportions. I found a bit more confidence with that drawing right there. I found a bit more confidence. I started drawing my own characters, and those characters, you'll probably keep seeing them throughout the whole video, which is pretty cool. And these drawings here, that one was, I looked at it and I was like, yo, wait a minute, and day 50 coming up, that one right there, I was like, dude, this is actually insane. I can't believe I drew that. And this happened so many times throughout my drawing. I looked back and I was like, dude, how the hell did I draw that? Each of these pieces, from day 1 to day 365, each drawing took between 30 minutes to 3 hours, which are a few exceptions which took a bit longer, but I swear, if I ever drew longer than 3 hours, I swear, I would just hate them, And around here as well, I started to figure out coloring, shading, and adding texture. And you'll see these also improve slowly throughout the video, which, was improved by constant trial and error, just drawing a lot. So around here actually is when I had the first reflection, and I was like, I haven't been improving that much, so I decided to start focusing on drawing simple poses, drawing hands. I drew boxes. This cycle of going from details to fundamentals, it repeats a lot. You'll see. And I think now is a good time to talk about kind of the motivation and how I was actually able to draw for this long and almost every day. One of the biggest things was I was documenting everything on Instagram, linked down in the description below. Every day I would post on my story of the daily drawing, and I told a few friends about this, and I would actually kind of stress about it. I want to impress people around me, and I want to show that I'm not just like wasting my time and I got a few followers as well during the process. I only have like 70 followers now, but you know, better than nothing. And that like kind of pressure to kind of improve from the people around you really made me keep going at it, you know. And so another thing was I would follow this great artist on Instagram, YouTube, and I would see their art and I would just be like, oh my god, that is just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it made me just like, I just want to get to that level, you know. I want to be able to just think of a cool idea and just bang, put it down on paper. Or sometimes I would hear a good song and I just want to draw a scene that perfectly fits the vibe of the song, you know. And the final thing that voted made me was the unknown future. I was always improving every day, you know, looking back, seeing like, oh my god, since day 30, I could never have done this. And I just get so excited thinking about the future and how much of a beast I would be when I get there, you know. Like, look at that drawing, you know, you can tell already how the form, the colors, the shading, everything's just like improved so much more. And I've like figured out, you know, drawing thin, thicker lines, my line art, my scenery's getting pretty good, and characters a bit more stylized. But then again, these are all like I'm drawing all these from references, so like there's not that many drawings here that are actually my own idea, which is something that I'm still trying to improve on to this day. But anyway, around here, I think it was around spring when this happened, so like the vibes were up, and I was something clicked around this time. I don't know what it was, but I just sort of like started drawing some really cool stuff. Now, what could this slight shift mean? Well, not much actually, but it's just the way I use the brush now, you know. If you look at these, especially these four right here, I really used I changed the thickness of the brush a lot in these, and a real focus on perspective and foreshortening was kind of the aim. I saw some guy named Flo Creates Art on our Instagram, and that dude does crazy drawings. It was absolutely insane. That's inspired by Black Myth Wukong, and that's like one of the OCs that's been seen a few times. But seeing and look, just like looking at all these, man, like you can see just like the general like change of shift and tone in the art as well. Like the colors I've chosen since the beginning are like just so much better, and it comes to a point where they become a bit too unrealistic at times. I don't know about unrealistic, but sometimes the colors I choose were wrong. But you know, and I've also like started implementing my own ideas in drawings, and just, you know, and it felt so good, you know, being a bit more creative and putting like maybe two drawings together. That one with the hand and the dude sitting there, like that hand was just something I found, and I was like, oh, that kind of, you know, gone onto that guy. Oh my god, bro, genius idea. That's crazy. But yeah, that's just kind of like how things went from now on. That's inspired by One Piece, low-key. And yeah, I think my drawings also started to show a bit of a narrative as well, which was almost one of the most important things. Like, I want people to see these drawings and just think, oh yeah, that's it. He's in a living world. He's a real person with a unique personality. And I really think here I started doing that pretty well. And I just want to talk about the time here. So at this time I actually finally started my uni course, and you can tell by the dates that are appearing, I actually this point in time I took a lot of times off. And I think it's important to say that you know, this wasn't done every day. I did have breaks, which were very important. Whether I was camping or just had just a busy day, and it was actually kind of rare, but some days I really just didn't want to draw. I remember, I think I was playing like Elden Ring or something. You know, I was just playing Elden Ring, you know, I don't want to bloody draw. But that was only like one day, so, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, but it's important that you do take those breaks. You don't continuously draw. You don't, you know, you need, your brain can't be doing it. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of yapping here, but now we reach the summer of 2025. Don't even know what day this is, but it's probably around 200 something. But this was a pretty, you know, chill part of the session, you know. I changed a bit how I use my brush. It's a lot more thicker, and I don't know how to say this, like, I don't use full dark opacity here, you know. I always was doing light strokes, never really putting in full heavy dark strokes. But, and then I would also, you know, mix up the fundamentals with doing like an actual full drawing piece, you know, kind of not wanting to get bored of drawing, but it's kind of just, you know, it all just depends on the day, you know, whatever I was feeling on the day, that's what I would do. I would never force myself to do something I didn't want to do, you know, it was always just the vibe I was feeling. But another thing I want to share at this time was the reason why I'm doing all of this, you know, and it's because I want to make kind of like my own studio eventually. I want to be able to animate. One thing I did, also on my channel, is the animation I did for university, but I know the main thing is to, you know, make my own story, and the Gentleman's Club is kind of like the story that I've been working on for such a long time now. And so the plan is to make future videos about the story, you know, go into kind of world building stuff, which I think would be pretty cool. So, you know, if you're interested in a fantasy, damn, I don't even know what it's like. I don't even know the genre. But yeah, it's kind of like what I've been wanting to do this whole time. And since I was bad at drawing, I couldn't do it. So that's why I've been drawing. So I have the skills to be able to create sort of my dream piece of art. And that is why I'm here on this day explaining my 365 days of drawing. So if you guys want to see some crazy ass story in the future, you know where to go. Subscribe to the channel, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, I'll stop yapping. Enjoy the last bit till the final chapter. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the final stretch. We just reached the day 300 there, and this was probably the biggest time of reflection out of all of them. This one I really did, you know, criticize myself, and I've realized, I've been just drawing from references this whole time. I need to start being able to draw these, the human body off just, my imagination. So I really took that kind of seriously, and I watched a YouTube video about this guy who became an absolute beast at drawing, and what he did was he did figure drawings, like 60 figure drawings for 60 seconds every day, and that inspired me a lot. I really tried, but when I was doing it, I was just so bored, and it just wasn't a fun way to learn. But so I didn't do it every day, of course, and I do know the fact that it is important to do that, and it is a great drawing exercise. But it's just something I wasn't too fond of doing. So it was a bit immature of me to, not do it every day. But I guess it just slowed my progression, but that's something I wanted to do. I'm not gonna do art if it's the boringest thing, or it just makes me want to kill myself. I'm gonna do it, to get into the zone, and do it for the love. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was the final 65 days where I really reflected and just thought, has this all been worth it? And at the beginning of day 300, I was really like, dude, I don't think this has been worth it. The final drawing was, good enough. The 365 days was worth it. And so I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I've told you my whole life story. I'll leave you guys with the final few drawings. Alright, and before I show it, I just want to thank everyone who has been listening to me this whole time. I reckon it's going to be like 2 people, but you guys are straight legends, bro. And without further ado,